Today, we're putting on our cognitive psychology hats to uncover something that plagues so many of us. We're going to figure out exactly why your brain absolutely loves starting new projects, but seems to completely and utterly hate finishing them. Let's dive right in.
So, let's start with a simple, maybe slightly uncomfortable question about those hidden corners of your home. You know exactly the spots I'm talking about. Think about your closet, under your bed, or those storage bins in the garage. What's in there? Abandoned language books? A dusty yoga mat you bought with the absolute best intentions?
Yeah, you likely have the evidence hiding in your house right now. A dusty guitar you haven't touched in 3 years, expensive yarn meant for a sweater that literally only has 4 rows, or maybe a half-finished manuscript sitting completely dormant on your hard drive since, 2021? Your friends might think you're flaky, and your family might lovingly joke that you're the person of 50 hobbies, but let's be honest, to you, it just feels heavy. It leaves you weighed down by this quiet guilt of never seeing anything through to the end. Section 1, the neurological mechanism, diagnosing the dopamine of discovery. Here's the big reframe we need to make right out of the gate. You aren't actually failing at consistency. To understand what's really happening, we need to look directly at your brain's reward circuit. To get to the bottom of this, we have to look at something called a mastery experience. See, a lot of us aren't actually looking for a finished product at all. We're looking for the dopamine hit of the learning curve. Research shows our brain's reward circuit fires the absolute hardest when we encounter something unexpected or novel. When you first pick up a new skill, like nailing those first 3 chords on that dusty guitar, your brain has a mastery experience. It's that amazing feeling of, whoa, I wiggled the wire and the lamp turned on. It triggers a massive dopamine release that completely rewires how you see yourself, and man, it feels incredible. Because you probably have a high openness to experience, your brain isn't lazy. It really isn't. It's just addicted to the dopamine rush of the learning curve. You're addicted to that perpetual quest for understanding, rather than the super mundane reality of actual completion. You genuinely just love the discovery phase. But here's the kicker. The trap springs the exact second you prove to yourself that you could do it. You hit what psychologists call an internal locus of control. This is that psychological state where you suddenly realize the outcome is now entirely determined by your own effort. The mystery? Poof, gone. You know exactly what it takes to finish the project now, so all the novelty completely vanishes. And that creates this incredibly stark neurological drop-off. On one side, you have the thrill of discovery. It's novel, it's unexpected, dopamine is through the roof. But on the other side, maintenance. All of a sudden, the actual work of finishing, like putting in the 50th hour of guitar practice, starts to feel like a grueling chore. The thrill is gone and your dopamine reward loop just totally breaks down. Section 2, the psychological defense, the potential trap. Moving from neurology over to psychology, we uncover this deeper, protective layer that actively stops you from finishing. Because guys, it's not just about dopamine, it is very much about self-protection. Think about the safety of unfinished business. As long as your project stays in your head or is only like 10% finished, it remains this perfect, safe masterpiece. In your mind, it has 0 flaws, nobody has rejected it, and you haven't failed. But the moment you execute it, you have to face the messy, finished reality. Putting it out into the real world forces you to confront the terrifying gap between your incredibly high taste and your current actual skill level. Leaving things undone is basically a shield. It protects you from the reality of being a visible beginner. So, to avoid testing your actual talent and facing that gap, what do we all do? We engage in productive procrastination. You start researching brand new hobbies, buying insanely expensive equipment for something else entirely, or just watching endless hours of tutorials. It totally feels like work, right? But it's actually just a shield. It lets you remain a perpetual professional student of your own dreams so you never actually have to put your skills to the test. This entire cycle is driven by perfectionism, but let's be real about what perfectionism actually is. It's just fear wearing an expensive suit. It's this elegant, totally socially acceptable disguise for your underlying fear of being just okay at something. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect gear. But well, we all know perfect never actually comes. By never finishing, you effectively protect the myth of your own greatness. Deep down, it's easier to be seen by the world and by yourself, honestly, as the person who is just too busy to finish, rather than risking being the person who finished something and was only average. Section 3, the behavioral treatment plan. Breaking the static friction. So now that we know exactly why this happens, how do we cognitively reframe it? How do we actually start moving the needle using low-stakes behavioral interventions? The good news is we can overcome this potential trap by implementing 3 tiny daily actions. These are designed specifically to rewire your brain's relationship with the act of finishing. Let's break these down one by one. First up, we have to break the static friction of not doing. And to do this, you need to lower the bar to completely ridiculous levels. Seriously, if you can't finish that novel, your goal today is to write 1 single sentence. That's it. If you can't practice guitar for an hour, your only goal is to practice for exactly 2 minutes. You want to make the task so incredibly small that you literally cannot say no. You might be wondering, why does 2 minutes even matter? Well, because this tiny, low-stakes action actively teaches your brain a brand new lesson. It proves that the discomfort of being bad at something, or just being a beginner, is not an actual threat to your identity. It's just a temporary cognitive state, and one that you can safely navigate. Step 2, you must kill the observer in your head. You have to stop worrying about the finish line while you're still just trying to tie your shoes. You've got to silence that internal judge that demands immediate perfection and mastery from day one. Just give yourself the grace to be a beginner. You do this by shifting your focus entirely from the outcome directly over to the process. The goal isn't to be a master right away. The goal is simply to be in motion. Because mastering a skill actually means pushing through that exact moment when the novelty inevitably wears off. Always remember this: every master was once a disaster who simply didn't quit when the dopamine dropped. Now, if you're looking around your own room full of half-finished projects right now, and you're finally ready to stop overthinking and build consistent follow-through, the source material for today's explainer mentions a really helpful resource. They have a 7-day reset bundle that's designed specifically for this behavioral shift. It's all about helping you build better daily habits and finally move past that potential trap. To wrap up our analysis today, I want to leave you with a final thought. I want you to use this to challenge that hobby graveyard hiding in your closet right now. A messy, finished project is infinitely more powerful than a perfect, unstarted dream. It is time to embrace the mess, push through the learning curve, and finally see what happens when you actually finish. So what are you going to finish today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.